first. So I'm with BMW now for 23 years because one of our core points is joy with ranks or hierarchies. And it's a learning throughout your life, not going upwards only. Career is doing is sideways. Career is doing side steps. Sometimes even a step back to reflect on things. A supercar doesn't have necessarily, in my definition, to be a car that has the most horsepowers in the world, or that is the biggest car in the world, or the smallest car, or whatever, these kind of extreme definitions. Why? Because you can't put everything onto your own shoulders anymore.
สวัสดีครับผมวรวุฒิวาริการ CEO Autospinn วันนี้ Autospinn Hot Seat จะพาพวกเราไปคุยกับ President และ CEO ของ BMW Group Thailand คุณเรเน่เกอร์ฮาร์ดครับสวัสดีครับคุณเรเน่ครับ
สวัสดีครับ
Just want to really understand, and it's our privilege to have you in our show. Yeah. So my very first question: How long have you been working for BMW, and what BMW actually mean to you?
So first of all, it's my honor indeed that you give me the opportunity to talk on behalf of BMW Group Thailand today. And okay, let's start with myself first. So I'm with BMW now for 23 years. So quite a time in work. I've worked in different markets and had the opportunity with different roles, different markets, different cultures, different people, even different areas of the business. And now I'm in Thailand for 1.5 years already.
Nice. 23 years. Seems like a long time. What was your first position at BMW?
With BMW, I actually started as a sales consultant.
You are a salesman.
Yes, that's
So
how I started, yeah.
Not every salesman make it to the top of the ecosystem. Share me some of the tips.
Look, even I haven't made it to the top. As you know, right? In every position, you always have a boss, okay?
Right.
In every position, and that's fair. Look, there is not a single ingredient or not a single key to success, okay? So I think what helped me, let's say, throughout the 23 years is I actually took on positions that I always loved. And I think if you do actually what you love, you will be good at it. And if that is your driver, if that's your own passion, I think this helps significantly that you can actually deliver on your specific role. And that's actually everything I could actually share, with your audience. Yeah.
I like how you address my question, but I'm gonna try to twist it as much as I can, right? So I'm a young kid. How do I know that I love this job? What signifies the love, the passion that we have for the game, for the job that we are actually doing?
Yeah, look, and I think that's indeed an interesting question, because look, if I look at my own kids, and they ask me, Dad, what's your job? What are you doing? And it's cool, you have these fancy cars, and I'm thinking about, okay, what's their future? And we just on Monday this week we went to Udon Thani and with UNICEF because we look, besides being a corporate, we want to be a corporate citizen as well, and giving back to the society. And the story is, so we went to that school, and it was the same thing, because it is about the kids, underprivileged kids, finding their purpose in life and what's the right thing to do. And I automatically thought about myself and my kids and thinking, okay, when was actually the time, that I decided, okay, I'll end up in the automotive industry, or I step into the automotive industry. And because, to be fair, I think it takes a while until you for yourself realize what is actually your passion. So what is something you could imagine working for, but at the same time obviously earning you have to earn your keeps, you have to get your wages and your salary as well to basically start your life when you're young. And I think it took a while for myself, and I think I didn't think about the automotive industry for a long time, maybe until I was 18, 19, around that time. And I always loved cars, but that doesn't automatically mean that I end up in that industry. Right. And I was thinking about a lot of other jobs, and I think, if you give it a little bit of time as well, okay, and that would be my message. So it's not that you have to decide at the age of 10 already what you really want, because I think you're not there yet at the age of 10. You might not be there at this stage when you're even 15. Give it time to develop as well, and explore certain things in your life. And if you give it, let's say, if you give yourself the opportunity to touch base with different things in the society, that you try different hobbies, that you try even after school, with your friends, you try different things. And I think this will shape you as a human being, and it will shape the way you will end up working later. Right. And I think this is what it did,
I appreciate that. I think I catch a few things. I catch curiosity, I catch purpose, and I catch passion.
Yes. Yeah. And authenticity, because that's what I mean. If you're doing what you love, that is automatically very authentic, and you will be good at it.
Yeah. I'm so sure that Kun Rainer, you've been the CEO in many markets, in many countries. In each of the assignment as a CEO, is the purpose always the same for you and for BMW?
I have to differentiate, right? Because there is a purpose that you obviously set for yourself, and there's always a business purpose, and the business purpose usually doesn't change much in our industry, because that's the foundation stays quite similar. Whilst, let's say, your personal endeavor, your personal purpose might still change, because this comes along with the challenges you will see in the next market or in your new role, and working with a new team, working in a new culture. So that becomes your own purpose, how to combine and how to bundle all these forces and make it a success. Whatever you then define as a success, okay, it's not necessarily to sell or service more cars. And this is where the business purpose then kicks in. And I think if you merge these both worlds, your personal endeavor as well as with a business purpose, I think this is where where success happens. And if you think about moving into a new country where there's a new culture, is always a challenge. How do you adapt, let's say, the BMW global approach and make it a local approach?
Right.
And I think these ones always drove me, and very selfishly, my own purpose is as well to learn a lot myself, and I'm learning every day. Okay, and that's the nice part of taking on new roles in new countries with new people, because there's always so much to learn. You will never get to a stage where you feel exaggerated and think, okay, I will teach the people. No, I'll learn more from them than they learn from myself.
Nice. What have you learned so far while and when you are in Thailand, and what are some of the key take? I know that you take this assignment for almost 2 years, but what have you learned so far working with Thai people or in Thailand?
Look, the learning, let's say, in Thailand, for me is a specific one. Why? Because when I joined BMW Group Thailand, I think the overall automotive landscape, as I was at the verge, could be changing, and we are still in that phase where where the automotive landscape changes a lot, and we are part of that change, and that's the nice part of it. But obviously, a change is not always an easy change. You have to get people onto the same journey. You have to basically onboard themselves as well to be on that journey for a change. So what did I learn? That Thailand generally, and that the Thais are very much BMW fans. Okay, and we have a lot of BMW aficionados, in Thailand, and I think we have had the opportunity at a lot of events talking about the BIMA Meet, the Motorrad Days, where we really gather the BMW community, and it's such a strong community and very loyal community here in Thailand. Talking of BMW, and because it's something that people look at, and it's something that people strive for as well in their lives. And I think this is a passion actually that we as a brand benefit a lot from, because one of our core points is joy. And if you think about passion and joy, these two go very well together. And so this is a massive learning for me. The internally and professionally, the learning is that I have a fantastic team, and that the team is very adaptable to change. So everybody understood that the automotive landscape is changing, and everybody knew, okay, we have to change with it as well, and then to develop strategies to be put in place in order to, okay, how can we overcome challenges, and how can we turn that into opportunities?
So I have a few questions already in my head now. Yeah. But I want to actually emphasize on the joy and the passion.
Yeah.
That was one time that I traveled around Bangkok. I see joy is BMW.
Okay.
What does that mean? Like, joy, is that a person name, anyone name, or is that the feeling, the passion, or what drives joy, and what is BMW joy?
Look, I think if I had to find, let's say, one word, if you ask me, okay, look, what do you think, if you have to nail it down to one word, what BMW Group stands stands for. And the BMW Group, again, to reiterate, is not just BMW. You know, we have Mini, we have Rolls-Royce, we have BMW Motorrad, we have our own captive, which is financial services, and we have a strong dealer network. You know, and if you put all of that together and you have to bring it down to and channel it to one word that describes actually what is the core of our brand. For me, this is joy. And the good thing about joy is obviously it's a very positive thing for everyone at work.
It is.
But at the same time, you can actually apply and you can make it a foundation for everything that you as a brand want to create. Okay, so if you think now about on a very simple logic, if you think about drivetrains, okay, if you think about we have ICE engines, we have BEV, we have PF, and as long as these drivetrains bear the joy as a core, I think they're a good BMW product, and they're a well fitted BMW product. And whatever there is in the future to come, as long as you have this core in these products, I think, you know, it reflects very well the brand of BMW and Mini and so on.
Understand. And I'm gonna get into the product in a bit, but
Yeah.
before I go to that, I want to go back to your 23 year with BMW,
Yeah.
you know, because as much as I want to understand what BMW plan to do in a very near future, I also want to know how did you plan your career, you know, going back to that, I will call it like after you finish school, going to first job, BMW.
Yeah.
If I may break that 23 years, and cool, you have a long career at BMW. The first 5, second 5, third 5, and fourth 5, was the purpose, the learning different? Because I want the fan here to actually know you a little bit more and understand a little bit more, and maybe you can help them plan the career a little bit. What was your first 5 years with BMW inside?
Interesting question. You know, I feel a little bit like in an HR interview now, but look, I'm not sure, you know, whether I can, let's say, whether I could really put it in these kind of time brackets, but what I can is, let's say, from a content point of view, I can very well, I think, put my career into brackets. So I think when I started, and this is, I think it's a classical, actually it's a classical career. And look, again, for me, career is not basically a vertical one. Okay, so career means very well a horizontal journey. And because a career has nothing to do with ranks or hierarchies, and it's a learning throughout your life. And I think if I think back in my career, what has defined it? Look, when I started, it was very much my effort and resulting into my success.
Individual contributor.
Correct. And it was my own success. Okay, I owned it. I was responsible for my own success. That's the first part. The second part was transitioning from that. I own that success into how do I build and set up a team and make the team successful in order so that I'm successful. And the third part was how you move from managing things into leading people. So empowering, enabling the people to very well manage their managers.
Understand.
You know, and manage operational things. And I think these are the 3 main categories I would actually divide the 23 years in.
I'm so sure that in the history of your working career, you know, you have done so many fantastic work, you know, and that bring
Now you have to ask my boss whether that's right. I don't know.
bring you to where you are today. But if I may, you know, are there anything that you regret, or are there anything when you look back you think you could have done a little bit better, you know?
Oh, yeah. There were so many things I think that I could have done differently or could have done better, but to me that actually, you know, doesn't really matter too much nowadays. Why? Because all the mistakes were part of that journey too. And I would have, look, if you take just our discussion now, okay, I would not be able, you know, to talk about these things if I hadn't done these mistakes. And that's the, you know, you can, I try to always, you know, see the positive side of everything that happens, okay? Because there is always a learning. It's like that you learn a lot, you know, from bosses or line managers that, let's say, when you worked with them, let's say you didn't really enjoy that work. But I can tell you that you've learned a lot specifically in these times, because you learned what you don't want to stand for later and how you don't want to manage things or how you don't want to lead people. And which means even in my journey, I think there were lots of things that I could have done differently, but it's important to specifically do these things. And the positive side of it is that you anyway don't know. What if it hadn't happened? How would it, or would there been anything different after that, or would there have been any different journey after that? You don't know. Whether your journey would have been better or not, you don't know. Which means everything you did, there was a purpose behind that. And I think because it brought you to the next level and it brought you to the next step. And I think it's rightly so. And again, and that's why I describe a career not going upwards only. Career is doing is sideways. Career is doing side steps. Sometimes even a step back to reflect on things. And that can happen in a new role, which you might not think it's a role where you got your promotion, but it's a role that gives you maybe a bigger view and a broader scope of things that helps you to do the next step, maybe in 2-3 years time. So I think it's no remorse, no regrets. I'm happy where I am, and as I said, I'm happy with what I think personally, what I can actually give to my own teams and how the teams can work with me.
I love how you address, and not everyone actually understand this, but working is not always like going up the ladder. You mentioned about side step, back step, but yeah, it actually brings you to where you are today. So appreciate some of the tips and also the learning. And now I'm gonna go back again to the joy BMW and all the product and innovation. I have some of the last minute question from the fan.
Okay.
Autospinn, we have almost 1 million fans. They're curious about the innovation of BMW. And the first question, very basic, and I think you have this all the time. Are you plan to making any supercar anytime soon? Because we see after i8 there's nothing else coming up, or we are not aware of that.
Okay, look, it's again, it depends a little bit on the definition of what a supercar is. Let's say even personally, for example, I consider let's say the new M5 myself already being a supercar, and we have other cars that I even consider supercars, because it always depends on the segment the car plays. You know what I mean? A supercar doesn't have necessarily, in my definition, to be a car that has the most horsepowers in the world, or that is the biggest car in the world, or the smallest car, or whatever, these kind of extreme definitions. I think if you're referring to, let's say, do we plan a specific sporty supercar, I think there's always the possibility with BMW that we will come up with a new car in the future, and that's a good thing about our brand, as long as it includes the core of joy, which a supercar and a hypercar could potentially have. I think there's always a possibility that we launch a new car. Yes.
Okay, for the fan who are actually watching right now, so be patient.
Yes.
So
be
the
patient.
second question also
space.
the second question also coming from the team. What about the grill? Are you planning to make it bigger, wider, smaller, or what?
Sorry,
the grill.
The grill. I look at,
I think you have it all the time.
Yes. So first of all, again, it's an iconic part of not only our brand, but indeed of our cars. Okay, we have a history of 109 years, and there is that one constant thing, and that has been the kidney grill. And whilst you're going through 109 years, I think the kidney grill, like every other detail at our cars, has to change.
Right.
It has to adapt to new styles, because imagine you wouldn't touch your mobile phone that you had 15 years ago, because it had changed significantly. And I think it's the same with something iconic like our kidney grill. And whether it becomes smaller or bigger, I think that's not the question, for me. For me, what is important is actually that the kidney grill indeed changes, and in different layouts, and yes, it will always change, because it's part of that journey and it's part of that change. And I don't want to miss the kidney grill, and I don't want to miss any kidney grill of our cars. It gives it a very distinctive face, and it's the face of the car. And look at our human beings, we all look different, and that's exactly what a BMW should represent as well.
Yeah, I look forward for what is next and coming. So allow me to ask this question, and I'm not sure if I can actually pronounce it correctly. What is the Neue Klasse?
Yeah, to explain, so first of all, very well pronounced. Okay, so indeed it is called Neue Klasse. There are two German words. Okay, and basically, if you translate it, it means the new class. And it refers back, and that's why BMW and we've decided to again work with these two German words, knowing that it's German and it's not easy in overseas. No, it's not only in Thai, it's overseas basically, and that he used that word. But why? Because there is a specific historic moment that expression of Neue Klasse refers to, and that was in the 60s, so 1960s, when BMW as a brand, and as a company, we have been at a very, very pivotal, crucial point of time for us where it was indeed about surviving. And to survive as a brand and as a company, we needed to change. And that for us was the initial spark with the Neue Klasse when we've decided we launch an entire new architecture of cars. And we are now at that brink again. And I think it's, if you have seen now the iX3 that we've just launched in Munich at the IAA, it is not a new model. For us, indeed, it is an entire new car with a new architecture. It starts at the exterior, but it basically continues in the interior as well. It starts with the drivetrains, but it continues with all the technology that is available with that car, from ADAS and autonomous driving and so on. So you all of that combined, that's what the Neue Klasse for us starts now. So, and it's as I said, you've just seen the first car, so there will be a lot of more cars coming over the next few years. And I think in total, and Kunku said I would know even better, I think around about 40 cars that will be launched over the next few years. And you will find these elements of the Neue Klasse again. And I think for us, it's a very crucial point again in time now, because this will define for us how we define cars in the future.
So technically for Thai fans who are actually watching right now, I only catch one thing: more model coming, launching soon.
Correct.
Are there anything that we can actually expect during the Motor Expo in late November, early December this year, and upcoming in Q1 next year?
Look, you know us very well as a brand and BMW Group Thailand. So yes, obviously at every motor show and Motor Expo, we always had some special things to be either shown or to be launched. And I think you can very well expect new things from BMW Group Thailand too.
Right. So I will just pass some message to the fan. Yeah. So look forward and stay tuned. Yeah.
Correct.
There was one interesting video, that we actually found on the internet while your group CEO actually mentioned some of the tech giant name from China and the collaboration you make with Alibaba, Tencent, and also like DeepSeek. Yeah. What is that for? Because sorry to say this, but BMW look like let's say car for the fan. Why do you need to like partnering with all the tech giant, and what partnership actually bring for BMW?
I think again it's part of that. It's part of the changing automotive landscape, because if you think about what a car represents today is very, very different to what a car represented even 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And because the car itself becomes a home based on a lot of digital functions, and there are better companies, and there are companies that understand digital even better than classical OEMs. And I think it's the right way, to combine all the knowledge and the skills that is out there in the market, and as many knowledges and as many understandings possible, to basically merge all these worlds into your own world. And I think it's the right way, because you can't do everything on your own. It's maybe coming back to the start of our interview. If you think about in these three categories, right, and where I divided the 23 years into. If you think about as a CEO, even as an MD or general manager, with every, let's say, when you move indeed up, when it comes more to the leadership of things, that automatically means that you will manage less, you will lead more. But to lead more, part of leading more is to delegate things. Why? Because you can't put everything onto your own shoulders anymore. And I think it's the same for us as a brand. Where there are people that are experts in certain areas. I think it's the right way to combine all of that and to bring that into our brand as well. And I think this is what we do, because we believe in the future of a combination of a physical experience as well as a digital experience. And we even have the word of phygital, combining both of these, because this is, I think, the future of a customer journey. And the customer journey not only whilst driving the car, it will be the customer journey even buying a car, purchasing accessories of the car. We believe that there is a combination of both worlds. It won't be only digital or only physical. It's like it won't be only BEV or only ICE. I think there's a world out there for all of that combined.
So that's something that we can look forward to. Are there anything that we will be able to see during the Motor Expo again, with that technology that you are showcasing us?
I think we obviously will show cars where you will be able, let's say, to experience obviously our new technologies that we will bring into the new iX3, for example, where we kick off with.
What can Thai fan actually expect, up and coming, in Q4, even Q1 next year?
Interesting question. As I said, you really need to watch that space because we will launch a lot of new cars in the next few years. And look, in October, we had the Vision car in Thailand, which is a concept car. And it was the first time that car actually was in Asia. And our Thai fans had the opportunity, to have a look at it and to get a glimpse of what the future could look like for BMW and with BMW. And they got a glimpse of what the new technologies will look like as well. And they could very well, prepare. And we were just talking about the Neue Klasse, they could compare what the original Neue Klasse looked like back then, which was a game changer for us as a brand. And as well then to get a glimpse into the future. And I think these are the concepts and the formats we really love to have our Thai BMW fans in and to basically do that community event with them together. So to combine our heritage as well as our future.
Perfect. Look forward for that. Yeah. And for the fans, stay tuned. Yeah. I want to know one thing. You start your career in Thailand just last year, 2 years ago. Yeah. Let's see that if what's up the best time to as market is actually not doing really well and you are actually a premium luxury car. And as a CEO, everyone need to expand. So how can you balance out the expansion and being premium and Thai consumer are not, as a country, we are not doing really well, to be honest. So how can you as a leader, and you mentioned the leadership, the leader, how you run the team and you trust in your people. Share me a little bit about that experience.
So first of all, you're right. Okay, so when I joined the Thai market, let's say, was already, shaken. Okay, and it was shaking back then, and we see till now that the market is still struggling. So overall total market, but obviously the total market that reflects in our what we call, let's say, the premium segment, premium luxury segment as well. So correct. I think what we as a brand, and that's maybe an advantage because look, we have a 109 years history and we have a 109 years legacy as well. And which means the people know us very well as a brand. And what we did very early last year was already we've implemented a strategy that we call product, brand and people. Because these three verticals are actually what define us. And what I mean is that we bring in the right products, yes, at the right price as well. But at the same time, we keep on focusing on what made and what will make us and define us as a brand. And at the same time, and maybe the most important part is, we focus on our people. And with people, I don't talk about what we have here as an NSC or NSFC, which is our captive financial services. Look, we have a big factory in Rayong. We manufacture parts for Motorrad. We manufacture all the three brands, Motorrad, BMW, as well as Mini. And we have a massive, strong and very, very engaged dealer network in Thailand. And if I talk about that as a group of people, we have to take care that they know and that they have the sense of belonging, that we are the right brand to work for and to work with. And I think this strategy helped us very well so far, really to, address challenges and even the opportunity to turn that into an opportunity again. And if you look at the performance so far, again, in a declining market, and there's no denying, but at least we perform quite well. We are still the number one in the premium segment, which again is a testament to my team. And with team again is dealers as well as manufacturing as well as NSC here in Bangkok. And I think what we did is that, at least from a strategy point of view, this was the right thing to do. I need to focus on what we can change and what we can't change, because we can't turn around the automotive landscape in Thailand, but we can contribute to the automotive landscape in the best way possible. And I think this is exactly what we did and what we're doing.
Yeah, I think most of the fans actually understand what happened in Thailand, and I appreciate your honest view on that. What can we expect in 2026 to 2030 from BMW, are you still committed to actually still make car in Thailand, still growing?
So look, I think the foundation, the foundation that we actually have in Thailand, and we always talk about our footprint in Thailand, I think has been historically already a really, really strong footprint, because look, we got the inception as an NSC was in 1998, and since then we've opened up the factory, and we are enhancing the product portfolio. And as I already mentioned, the factory for example in Rayong is the only factory in the world that actually produces all the three brands in one factory. I think it's from a footprint point of view, this shows a very, very strong commitment from us as a brand and from our teams when it comes to Thailand. And our intention is obviously to rather enhance it than to scale it down. And again, if the market and the industry gets shaken up, again, it always opens up new opportunities for us to, let's say, adjust, in our planning, and to be flexible in order to overcome or to compensate certain challenges. And I think that's one of the biggest, I think, advantages that we have actually as a brand. We have more brands than just BMW. We have a plant that is able to manufacture all the three brands. We work here in Thailand with exporting cars as well as for the local market. So we have flexibilities that we can move and adjust throughout the time, and I think this is a good foundation for the future, and we're fully committed to Thailand, in Thailand, for Thailand.
Understand. Kun Rene, share me a little bit, I'm not a car guy, so is it ICE, PHEV or EV?
For us, there's a clear answer. It's all of that actually. You remember when I told you earlier about the core of joy.
Yeah.
As long as there's the core of joy, all the drivetrains for us are relevant. And the core of joy and let's say the customer, they will actually choose and they will actually decide which one is the right drivetrain for them. And in the future to come, we, as you know, and you might have read it, we even will introduce the fuel cell as well as a potential drivetrain as well. And I think that makes it already 4 drivetrains then, so 3 plus fuel cell. And again, as long as you will find the core of joy, I think it's the right drivetrain for a brand like BMW and Mini.
Totally understand. Just want to tap on a little bit about EV, premium segment, premium luxury segment. There's a lot of, I would say, like brand coming to Thailand, particularly from Asia, China.
Yeah, let's call it out.
Yeah. I don't want to call out any name. Yeah, but then how would that actually play, and how would that impact the way BMW actually doing the business in Thailand?
Again, they are a little bit too hearts beating, because I think on one hand, and I start maybe with what presents a challenge to Thailand, and not so much to BMW only, but generally to Thailand, I think, is because it confuses customers, I think is the approach of quite an open price war that has led to. And why? Because, if you think about the influx of new brands coming in and all trying to get their slice and piece of the cake, I think led to that price war. And the price war eventually leads to customer confusion, because if you buy something today and you don't know what that product is worth tomorrow, because it will get an entirely new price tag, and the day after that even further, I think this leads to confusion and uncertainty is never a good foundation to move forward, regardless industries and businesses. So that's the one side. On the other side, for us, and I'm talking now rather in the automotive industry and from a BMW view, look, for us, that's still part of a healthy competition. Because look, every healthy competition, drives us as well to move faster, to think smarter, and to bring in new technologies and so on. So, I think that has always been a good driver for BMW and for other brands as well. So there's nothing wrong with it. I think what is important to us, and that's why when I was talking about the product, brand and people, we can't and we won't throw everything overboard that we have worked for over the last 109 years. And what we have worked for is always towards our customers. And to put the customer at the center of what we're doing has always been a key for success for us. And I think we will strengthen that part further. And this is for cars, for an investment like a car. One of the main constants is service and maintaining that car. And I think with a strong dealer network that we have in place in Thailand, with a strong customer support team we have in place in Thailand, I think this is what will actually differentiate us, because this is what is more important than just the price at the beginning when you purchase the car. And we will strengthen and we will focus very much on that part further.
Understand, and you have the very good history of 109 years, and of course we probably see it another 109 years in the future. Yeah. So I'm keen to understand about sustainability now. Yep. And people mention about moving toward like eco-friendly, environmentally friendly. So with the EV, and with the new introduction of the EV, it looked like the long range just getting more range every year they introduce. So what do we do with the obsolete model? I'm not saying that it's bad model, but then the newer model coming in. So the older model, what do we do with the car itself, the battery?
Yeah. So look, sustainability in this, I know that nowadays, whenever we refer to sustainability and we talk about sustainability, we very much talk about, let's say, electric cars, EV cars. Look, for us as a brand, sustainability means a lot more. Because just that electric car is actually just one result and one piece of the puzzle. But if you think about the entire circular model behind that, so how do you source the parts for this car? How much of that car is actually recycled materials? And so throughout the value chain, this is actually what we call a 360 degree as a brand, because the car is just a result. And if we think about it, so we have developed, and BMW has developed long time ago already, at the point of time even before we launched back then the i3. You might remember that kind of, because you were mentioning the i8 earlier. Even back then, they have developed that 360 approach to look at decarbonization at one stage, to resource the materials, for example, and this all to make all of that part of the sustainability approach. And because, as you rightly said, if the car already consists out of recycled materials, and you can actually, like the batteries, you can reuse it later and recycle it again, and it all becomes part of that circularity. And this is what is important to us as a brand, for not only that one specific vertical, but the full circle.
So we look forward to see, the movement and the gesture from BMW. Yeah. Maybe I'll ask you to actually like give some to the fan, they're watching the show. Yeah. I think that. Okay.
Yeah.
So technically, for those who are actually watching right now, are there anything that you like to say to the fan?
Look, first of all, I would really like to thank everyone. To thank everyone in Thailand who is part of our brand, and who is an enthusiast when it comes to BMW and Mini and BMW Motorrad. And look, and even who is not, is part of that automotive passion in Thailand. And I can only reiterate it again, how important it is, that these people exist that are passionate for the automotive industry here in Thailand, because it is such a big footprint in Thailand. If you think about Thailand being an automotive hub, it's actually these people that drive it. And whether you are a BMW fan or not, that actually doesn't matter. As long as you have a petrol heart and soon a BEV heart and a PF heart, this is what I talk about with Core of Joy. And I would really like to thank everyone for that long history. And I hear so many stories, whenever I get to meet our fans here in Thailand, I hear so many stories about that their respective parents have actually started with a BMW, and that was the first touch point with us as a brand. And over the decades it has developed, and now it's already their third, fourth, fifth BMW. And it always fills me with a lot of pride to hear all these stories. So thank you very much for everything, and thanks for your loyalty as well. ขอบคุณนะครับ
คุณเรนนี่ just one last question from my side. If there are any tips that you want to give to the younger generation, so who actually want to pursue career, either with BMW or anywhere else, to be as successful as who you are and giving back, Are there any tips?
For me, let's say the tips or tip or recommendation indeed would be just stay true to yourself and always be ambitious, because there is always something to improve. There is always something that you can do better, and always be hungry to do actually and to achieve and to reach the next step. And you know, it reminds on Monday, you know, I met a young girl in Udon Thani because we went to a school in upcountry, and you know, and she approached me after the presentation and said, "Oh, look, you know, thank you very much for being here today, and I only want to share that I have a massive passion for BMW, and I actually want to become a lawyer and work for BMW in the future, you know." And this kind of individual stories always, you know, always fill my heart with joy as well, because it's fantastic to see these people from a younger generation, you know, striving for something, having a clear goal and an ambition, at least what they are looking for, you know, and whether that girl ever becomes a lawyer or maybe something else because she changes her mind throughout the time, that is perfectly fine. But to have at least a vision and a goal for something that you want to achieve, I think this is what drives us as human beings, you know, and always to improve and to have a goal.
ครับแล้วก็วันนี้ขอบคุณทุกท่านนะครับที่ใช้เวลากับพวกเรานะแล้วขอบคุณคุณเรเน่อีกรอบหนึ่งนะครับที่ให้เกียรติมาอยู่ในโชว์ของเราครับขอบคุณและสวัสดีครับส่วนเอพิโซดหน้าอยากให้เราไปพูดคุยกับใครก็สามารถที่จะ drop comment แล้วก็บอกพวกเราได้เลยนะครับขอบคุณและสวัสดีครับ